AI Wealth Assistant, Agentic AI. You're leaving thousands of dollars on the table because you think budgeting requires discipline. It doesn't anymore. In 2026, the tools that move your money for you already exist. Most people just don't know they're sitting in their banking app right now. If you're still manually transferring money to savings, you're doing it wrong. Banks like Fidelity and Bank of America have AI that watches your account 24/7 and moves cash when you won't miss it. You set a goal once. The system does the rest. This isn't a chatbot. It's a financial assistant that cancels subscriptions bleeding your account, spots fraud before you notice, and suggests tax moves based on your actual income patterns. You're already paying for this feature through your banking fees. You're just not using it. The setup takes 5 minutes. Open your banking app, find the goals or savings automation section, and tell it what you want. The AI monitors your cash flow and transfers money during windows where it won't overdraft you. It's not about discipline anymore. It's about letting the system work while you sleep. Micro investing. Your spare change is evaporating. Every time you spend $4.35 on coffee, 65 cents disappears into nothing. Micro-investing apps like Acorns and Plum round up $5 and invest the difference into stocks and bonds. You're not building wealth with spare change. You're building the habit of automated investing with money you'd never notice missing. The app spreads those tiny deposits across hundreds of companies. So you're not gambling on single stocks. You're buying fractions of the entire market. The catch is fees. Some apps charge $3 to $5 monthly, which is brutal if your balance is small. Use this to build momentum. Once you hit a few $100s, migrate to platforms with lower costs. The point isn't to get rich from roundups. The point is to automate investing before you're ready to write big checks. Fractional ownership. Real estate. Real estate builds wealth, but you've been locked out because you don't have $50,000 for a down payment. Fractional ownership platforms let you buy a slice of commercial property for $100 to $1,000. You own a percentage. You get a percentage of the rent. Platforms like PropBase and Mintos list buildings that have been divided into digital shares. Your rent deposits monthly. If the property value climbs, your share value climbs. You can own pieces of 10 different buildings in 5 cities instead of betting everything on one house in one neighborhood. The advantage over physical real estate is liquidity. You can sell shares in days instead of months. The disadvantage is you have zero control over property management. You're trusting the platform's decisions. Only use licensed platforms that publish transparent valuations and have regulatory oversight. Skilled trades in green energy. There's a gold rush happening in electrical work, and most people are missing it. The world is building EV charging stations, solar installations, and AI data centers. The people who can actually install and maintain this equipment are earning over $100,000 a year. This isn't traditional blue-collar work. These are new-collar jobs that combine manual skill with technical systems knowledge. A 6 to 12-month program at a technical school gets you in. An apprenticeship gets you paid while you learn. Programs like the Academy of Craft Training have job offers waiting before you finish. You can't automate this work. You can't outsource it. Physical infrastructure requires human hands and on-site problem solving. Many tradespeople eventually start their own businesses, which multiplies earning potential. The work is physically demanding, but if you can handle the environment, the financial ceiling is higher than most office jobs. Home solar as income. Your electricity bill is a monthly leak. Solar panels and batteries like the Tesla Powerwall turn that expense into income. You produce power during the day, store it in batteries, and sell it back to the utility company when prices spike. This is energy arbitrage. You're buying low or generating free power from the sun and selling high during peak hours. Smart energy managers automate the entire process. You're not managing this manually. The system decides when to store and when to sell for maximum profit. The upfront cost is significant, but government incentives and green loans cover a large portion. Tax credits offset the rest. You're eliminating a permanent monthly expense and increasing your home's resale value. The payoff period is typically 5 to 10 years. If you're staying in your home that long, you're leaving money on the table by not installing solar. AI-powered one-person businesses. The side hustle is dead. The AI-powered solo business is what replaced it. Tools like CapCut edit professional videos in minutes. ChatGPT writes your marketing copy and email sequences. You can run what used to require a full team from your laptop. Pick a niche you understand. Gaming, fitness, personal finance, cooking doesn't matter. The audience is there. Use TikTok, YouTube, or niche platforms to reach them. Monetize through brand deals, digital products, or coaching. One person can now produce content at a pace that used to require 5 employees. The advantage is infinite scalability. Your income isn't tied to hours worked. One video can generate revenue for years. The disadvantage is competition. Millions of people have the same tools. You win by being consistent and authentic, not by pumping out generic content. Treat this like a real business from day one, not a casual hobby. Peer-to-peer lending. Your savings account is paying you almost nothing. Peer-to-peer lending platforms let you lend directly to small businesses and earn 6% to 10% annually. You're acting as the bank, and the bank's cut is going to you instead. Platforms like Mintos use AI to vet borrowers, so you're not flying blind. You spread your money across dozens of loans, $50 to a cafe, $50 to a startup, $50 to a retail shop. Most pay back with interest. Some default. That's why you diversify. This isn't a replacement for your emergency fund. Limit this to 5% to 10% of your savings. The advantage is steady income that's less volatile than stocks. The disadvantage is default risk. You're betting on a portfolio, not individual businesses. If most loans perform, you're earning multiples of what a savings account pays. Resale and leasing economy. The circular economy is a profit system disguised as environmentalism. You buy high-quality used goods, refurbish them, and resell or lease them out. One item generates recurring income instead of a single sale. Start with what you already own. Sell it on resale platforms. Then find undervalued items at thrift stores or estate sales and flip them. The advanced model is leasing. Rent out tools, designer clothing, or baby gear that people need temporarily. A $500 power drill rented 20 times at $30 per rental produces $600 from one asset. The barrier to entry is almost zero if you start with items you own. The disadvantage is logistics. You're managing inventory, shipping, and customer service. It's not passive, but it's one of the most accessible business models because it requires almost no capital to start.